wanted to have this be an independent test of the model. I'll show you that in a minute. So we took 3 bee biologists that were familiar with this part of the world and asked them sort of where they'd posit abundances of bees to be. Flight distances, again, I have lots of data on that, but I didn't want to use it because I want to use my data to test this model. But there's a really nice relationship that a bunch of us have found between just the body size of a bee, that's shoulder width, essentially, and what its expected flight distance is. So all I had to know was what my bees were, and then I used this kind of allometric equation to give the model flight distances. And then crop yield effects are from my data, knowing what given my 20% finding, constructing a really simple yield curve that relates number of bees arriving at a field with its production in that nice unit, Fanegas, and then market prices. So those are the data that went into this test in Costa Rica. And here's what the model comes out with. So here's this step, right, when we're letting bees fly from where they nest to where they might pollinate. And green is just forest for reference. Here's this dotted farm. And the shades of brown are predicted pollinator abundances. This is where we're predicting more pollinators to be. And you can see where it's shadowing the edges of the forest because they tend to be in the forest and then fly only a certain distance. So these are the sort of predicted distribution of this bee abundances. And here's the last step where we've actually calculated value and attributed it back to where it came from. So here's a map essentially in dollars per hectare of the expected benefits from that pixel to crop pollination in the landscape as configured now. So you can see the edges of forest patches that are closest to this coffee farm are very dark, but deeper in are not so dark because they're further away. And also coffee is a source of pollinators to itself because to a certain degree, pollinators do live there and they don't have to fly far to have that benefit confer. Okay, so this is a